But let's talk about Derrick Henry. And, for the last few years, running backs kept getting dissed. They didn't want to pay running backs. It was ridiculous. I just always thought just the most ridiculous thing I ever heard, because you got to be able to run the football. You do. There are yards that are important in games to keep the clock running late in games. You need a third down or a third down and 1 or 2.
Keeps defense all I don't know what you're not
sure
pass.
Exactly. Yeah. Like it's a big part of the game. And then, Derrick Henry becomes available. The Cowboys had a chance to get him. Then, we don't have any money. Okay. Running around talking about how they're the richest franchise in sports, but they don't have any money for a running back. They bring back Ezekiel Elliott for $1.50, and then can't figure out why it's not working out. But Derrick Henry's had a tremendous season so far. I mean, his projections, if you were to figure out what he's doing now and what he would do over the course of 17 games, there's 20 touchdowns, 2,000 yards. We don't know. He could have a stinker in there or two, and that could throw that whole thing off. But that's where it looks like he's going. But then the question is he a legit MVP candidate? And the reason we even say legit is that a running back has not won the MVP since 2012 when Adrian Peterson won it with the Vikings. But the league turned into a passing league. This award turned into what the Cy Young is in baseball for the best pitcher. That's what the MVP has turned into quarterback-wise. Where are you as far as Derrick Henry being a legit MVP candidate?
So you just brought up some of the numbers of what we're looking at right now. You mentioned, if you look back over the last few seasons, we've had some running backs with some incredible seasons, one being Christian McCaffrey last season with over 2,100 yards from scrimmage, 23 touchdowns, I believe it was, and 21 total touchdowns for Christian McCaffrey. And what does he get? He finishes third in MVP voting with that.
How many votes he get?
They in this particular article didn't get it. He finished only third in MVP voting that year. And then you got Jonathan Taylor.
Well, we know that Lamar got all but one first place vote, so he got. I think, and Dak got one. I don't think so. So Christian got 0
for him to become. But he came up in third, in MVP voting, and then 2021, so Jonathan
1
Taylor
through 7. Is that what it was?
Something like that. You got 2,100 yards for Jonathan Taylor, 20 total touchdowns. These are incredible seasons, right? He didn't even get a vote.
This is what I'm trying to tell you. So
he didn't even get a single. He didn't even finish in the top 3, I should say. He didn't so. For a running back to do this currently, you're going to have to put up 500 total yards, 22 to 25 touchdowns, and hope that a quarterback isn't having a Lamar Jackson type season. And that's the problem for Derrick Henry is he's playing with the literal reigning MVP, 2-time MVP, and might be 3-time MVP in Lamar Jackson. Now, if Lamar were to say, go on a campaign for his own guy, you know what I mean? Yo, man, I'm just happy to be arm around him at an interview. This is the MVP, baby, MVP, and start hyping it up almost like a Heisman campaign, almost as if to say, I've won enough, I want my guy to get one. But the issue is Derrick Henry's doing that. Every game, they'll be like, Derrick Henry, you did so well, you ran so well. And he'll be like, man, I'm doing my thing, but this is the man right here. This is the man right here. So it's going to be borderline impossible. People stop respecting the running back. I'm glad to see that it's coming back in position and becoming, in vogue again. But, Rob, when you think back of some of the successful seasons in the last, 10 years or so, when Dak was at his best, it was because Ezekiel Elliott was playing well. And Ezekiel Elliott was part of that backfield. And then last season, they were still finding ways to run the ball multiple ways, right? Russell Wilson. He had running backs, and they were running the ball a lot. They were using their defense a lot. When you run the ball, you get play action a lot, right? This is why Jared Goff is able to have such high percentages because they're running the ball so much. It's scaring the defense. They can't load up the block. They're like, I don't know what to do. Is he going to pass? Is he going to run? I don't know. And you're getting easier throws. Guys are getting open. So not only should it be considered back for the MVPs, but also it helps your team.
But see, here's why I think that hurts Derrick Henry is that Lamar runs the football. So, people could say, well, of course he's having this kind of season because Lamar's also a running threat or a passing threat. So it opens up. I know it sounds crazy, but it opens up Derrick Henry because
he freezes him.
Okay,
I don't know if he's gonna pitch it, keep it.
Right. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like so they could use Lamar's ability to take away on why Derrick Henry had such a great year, and it's really Lamar, and that's why I think he's more in line to get another MVP despite what the running back, because last year, I might be wrong, they led the league in rushing last year without Derrick Henry with a committee. with a
Right.
committee. So they led the league with rushing last year.
So they can say, this is what we do.
This is what we do. We got one big horse now, but this is what we've been doing, and the reason we're able to run the ball is because of Lamar. And I think that's why he's more apt to win the MVP. Not just the quarterback thing, but he's a running and passing quarterback. And so he's a dual threat, and I don't know how you could not look at that guy
He's
if
spectacular.
you watch him and say he's a game changer.
He's a walking video game.
Right.
He's a walking video game. You playing your little cousin who barely knows how to play is what it looks like him on the football field. The only other thing, again, that may be in favor for Derrick Henry, again, is if Lamar Jackson goes on a purposeful campaign. Let's say they're at the 2-yard line and he purposely hands it. Like, I could run this in, but I'm going to purposely hand. Like, I'm the last 3-4 games, I'm force-feeding my guy. So the
that
stats
doesn't mean
go
the
up.
writers will.
Well, I'm just saying the stats. So they'll look and say, oh, my God, he had 27 touchdowns. And then lastly, I think, I think it's Lamar. But I'm saying I'm building a case. If I'm Johnny Cochran here, a defense attorney for Derrick Henry.
I'm sorry, you have no gloves here.
No
to try
gloves.
on.
Well, whoa, that's around. I got 3 kids.
All right,
so
there you go. I said no gloves.
If also just rider fatigue. Lamar's got a couple. We've done. You see it every now and again. They'll do it in the like. There's no way Michael Jordan only has 5 MVP. Come on, Rob.
No,
Michael Jordan 5 MVPs. Did they watch the game for 13 to 15 years?
But if you look at what they've done, remember they lost their first 2 games, and if they finish spectacular and have this great record, I don't know what they got 3 losses now, and they don't lose
Say
again.
They're like 12-5 or 13-4.
Right, or something like that. And his numbers are better than last year when he almost won unanimous. They're better. You know what I'm saying? Like, so you're gonna go, well, let me see. I voted for him last year, and his numbers are way better this year.
But
so I'm
you
not
may
go,
but man, Derrick Henry just rushed for 2 stacks, caught a couple other, 200-300, and
but you just gave the other numbers of the other people.
And I'm just a little Lamar'd out.
I'm not Lamar'd out.
Not me. I'm saying the writers. I'm trying to build a case. Listen, Lamar Jackson is the MVP. Let me not fool anyone.
Okay.
He's the only one that you watch and looks different. Because right now, Patrick Mahomes is the one I trust in the clutch the most, but he doesn't look different right now. You get what I mean? He still does a play or two every now and again. Okay, that was just Patrick Mahomes. Lamar just looks different. Like, whatever he's doing, that ain't the same. You know what I mean? If you drop Kyrie Irving in Venice Beach, you know what I mean? You'd be, okay, yeah, those guys can play. That looks different. And that's, to me, what Lamar Jackson is. Everything about him looks different right now. He's playing, and he's in the absolute peak. I don't even think he's like 28 years old yet. That's the crazy part. Is he even 28?
No.
It's the ridiculous part.